How are you?
Salama.
Very good. Very good. Hello. How are you? Very good.
Your Excellency, welcome to AWS Development Center in Nairobi. It's a great pleasure to have you around. These are my fellow engineers. So what we do here is support companies set up on AWS. A good example would be Cellulant, which supports payment platform in Africa. We as cloud support engineers help them set up their architecture, troubleshoot their environments if they have any issues. And it's a great pleasure to be coming back home as engineers.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good. Where were you before?
So 8 of us were based in South Africa, in Cape Town.
Yes.
So when this opportunity presented itself, we were super glad to be back home. Yeah.
So, but you will still be doing what you were doing out of South Africa. You are now going to be doing it out of Kenya.
Correct. So yeah, we still support the entire globe as cloud support engineers based in Nairobi. Bless you.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your Excellency.
Your Excellency. Yeah. Yeah.
I was explaining to you that Felix is one of the engineers that we came here to source the talent in 2019 when we could not find talent in South Africa. He was one of the engineers that we found.
Correct. And and I also have some of the team members who are part of that team, and it's a great pleasure that some of my other colleagues who are here got to start the AWS journey from right here in Nairobi. Yeah.
What is, in your experience, how long have you been here?
So I came over in February.
Okay. Yeah. Your experience working out of Kenya and working out of South Africa. Can you tell me something about it? What you...
So it's really.
Of course, this is home.
Yes, that's what I was just about to say that. Yeah, so it's amazing working from home. We as engineers here are a very young lot. Our median age for the team here is about 28 years. Working from here, we get challenged by local members of the Kenyan community, tech community. So it's really amazing being back home. We like the support that we get, the challenges that we get to experiment. We like making impact from right here in Nairobi, our motherland.
Let me ask you, I'm sorry, it's not an interview. What do you think we should be doing differently or better with our curriculum in terms of the TVETs and also maybe at the university level? Do you think we're doing it right, or do you think there are areas where we can improve?
I think we are heading in the right direction. A lot of the engineers that we have here went through the computer science program. Technology is truly the future of the entire planet. The curriculum that we have currently does train engineers to get ready for the work environment. I think what we can improve on is probably provide a wider platform for engineers, even in rural areas, to be able to have the same skill set that everyone across the city has.
What kind of suggestion would you give to me on the big pool of students we have in our TVETs? Is that a place where you think we can build some capacities, engineering capacities, or do you think it should be at the university level?
Your Excellency, can I take that one?
Yeah, okay.
I'm currently planning to work with top 3 universities in Kenya to run or structure an internship program. That will be our starting point to make sure that we attract the young talent in Kenya.
In addition, Your Excellency, in April this year, together with the Minister of ICT and ICTA, we announced an initiative called AWS Academy. The original intention was to run it with 10 public universities. But then because of the special place of TVETs, we are actually rolling it out to public universities and TVETs as well. And this will now raise the overall quality of engineers that come out of TVETs.
Because when we went the route of TVETs, it was out of the realization that we need to build, we were so much aligned in the direction of, I don't know what to call it, formal education, and all those other courses. And we lagged behind for a long time on technical subjects. People had reservations about STEM courses, science was difficult, and the sciences were left behind. So as part of addressing that inconsistency and bias, we came up with technical TVETs.
Yes.
And the idea was to build a bigger pool of people with technical knowledge. And it should stretch all the way. Yeah, it should stretch all the way. So the question I'm interested in is, how do we build a bigger pool of young people with skills around what you're doing, around people who can support Amazon Web Services. How do we build a bigger pool of those people using the other layers of our education system? Is it a possibility that you're willing to explore? Exactly what you're saying?
Absolutely, Your Excellency. In fact, actually, the reason we also extended to TVETs was because of a realization that TVETs were covering areas where some public universities were not going to. One of the launches we attended together with the ICTA and the ministry was in a TVET called in Kinango, Kwale County, which is pretty deep.
Yeah.
Pretty
in Kinango,
interior.
I opened that TVET.
Yes, and so we met people. They are very eager to learn, very excited. When the Konza team put on the computers, the guys were really getting engaged.
Okay.
But in addition to that, you may have heard of the program we're calling AWS Restart, which also caters for what we're calling the underemployed or unemployed, because we're also aware that not everyone is going to find their way to a tertiary institution. And so we've already done that. We launched this in May 2021, and so far trained actually thousands of Kenyans. At the end of them, they get global certifications, and some have then moved on to get global jobs, entry-level cloud jobs, supporting customers that are not just in the country. Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, that sounds great.
So, Your Excellency, we have done 11 universities in collaboration with AWS. We have trained the trainers on cloud infrastructure, and actually they took the exams about 2 weeks ago. We had 28 of them being trained. This was on the pilot basis. So now we can cascade it to the TVETs, so that then using the curriculum, it's going to be online but instructor-led training on cloud infrastructure. We can then cascade it to the other universities and the other TVETs. Even the systems. But at least for the universities, we are covered.
That sounds great. Okay.
Your Excellency, sir, with your permission, they had requested for a quick photo just before we leave. So if the engineers, we can all just...
Okay, just hold on, Does anybody here have a question for me? You guys have no questions for me, okay.
So if we can quickly arrange ourselves the way we had planned, please. Then just leave a gap.
Okay.
Maybe you can take one with the students along.
Yeah. Thank you, Excellency. So, let's move. Do we have Wendy? Thank you. Wendy, where are you? Wendy, where are you? Please come. Just come and stand right next to me. Do you have your prayer? Okay. All rise. Let us all rise as we welcome His Excellency the President. Welcome, Your Excellency. With your permission, I'll request that we remain standing as I now call Wendy Odinga to lead us in a word of prayer. So I'll just wait for us to settle in kindly. Then we can start with a word of prayer. Welcome, Wendy.
Thank you. Let's pray. Our God and our Father, in the name of Jesus, we choose to give you honor, praise, and all the adoration today. Thank you for the gift of life, good health, and your mercy. Thank you for our country, Kenya, our President, His Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, and every leader across the country. We are sincerely grateful for gathering us here today for the launch of AWS Development Center. We ask that you look upon us graciously and release your blessings in Jesus' name. Thank you for everyone that you have enabled to attend this launch, and we pray that on this day, the 4th of October, 2023, you will breathe your life, your glory, and your grace, even to the texture of the services that we provide to our customers locally and around the world. We ask that you grant us the opportunity to keep touching lives. As we begin today, we ask that you guide us through everything we do. We give you all the glory, and it is in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Wendy. We may take our seats. Your Excellency, the President of this great nation and Commander-in-Chief, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, Your Excellency, the Ambassador to the U.S., Madam Meg Whitman, the Governor Nairobi, Johnson Sakaja, the Deputy Governor Nairobi, the Principal Secretary ICT, John Tenui, Principal Secretary Private Investment, Abubakar Hassan, Nomindo Zibi, AWS Director Support, Satish Haldese, AWS Director Support as well, distinguished guests, all invited guests, engineers, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, sir, with your permission at this point, I would like to invite the Regional Lead, Public Sector Sub-Sahara Africa, Amazon Web Services, Mr. Robin Giro, who will make his welcoming and opening remarks. Welcome. We may welcome him with a clap. Karibu sana.
Your Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, Governor Nairobi, Johnson Sakaja, Ambassador Meg Whitman, PS Engineer John Tenui, PS Abubakar Hassan, other government leaders, captains of industry, AWS customers and partners, AWS leadership and colleagues, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is indeed a pleasure to speak to you on this special occasion of the AWS Kenya Development Center launch. Thank you all so much for coming to be a part of this day. Your Excellency, it would be remiss of me if I didn't share a personal dream that was developed as I grew up watching the Olympics and celebrating the likes of Pamela Jelimo, Catherine Dereva, David Rudisha, Ezekiel Kemboi, and the rest as they won their races and were highly celebrated by having the Kenyan flag raised and the anthem played. I had always dreamed and hoped to be one day be present as the Kenyan anthem was played due to work or a project that I had been part of. Dreams do indeed come true. And today happens. And today happens as a result of the amazing work done by multiple teams within AWS Hearing that anthem a few moments ago in your esteemed presence was a particularly special moment, Your Excellency. Amazon Web Services is the world's most comprehensive and broadly adopted cloud. Millions of customers, including the fastest growing startups, largest enterprises, and leading government agencies, even right here in Kenya, trust AWS to power their infrastructure, become more agile, and to be able to lower their costs. Your Excellency, Kenya is regarded as the region's leader in matters technology. Your government has in particular placed technology at the center of your vision. This is evident in the rapid digitization of over 5,000 government services by June of this year, and the ambitious goals already in place for more. We congratulate and admire the government's pace of execution, as we remain excited ourselves at the developing opportunities that lay ahead in terms of the impact that our work together will have on the people and the country. You have also been very intentional about engaging global tech industry leaders to ensure that Kenya gets her rightful level of attention and investment, while you yourself ensuring that you address existing hurdles to additional investment in this country. Your Excellency, as the cloud computing grows across the world, a globally identified hindrance to its adoption is finding the right skills. AWS is therefore keen to remain addressing this in Kenya through multiple initiatives. In May 2021, AWS and the Ajira Digital Program announced the launch of AWS Restart, a program in Kenya. This is a 12-week program designed to support people who are either unemployed or underemployed and who have little experience for careers in cloud computing. The training, besides providing participants with new cloud computing skills, also provides them with career and resume coaching. Since May 2021, when the first cohort was done in Kenya, the program has enrolled thousands of Kenyan youth across the country while connecting them with employment opportunities. It is therefore a great pleasure, Your Excellency, to bring up an AWS Restart graduate from the very first cohort that was done in May 2021, Adeline Makoha, now with multiple AWS certifications. She's a member of the AWS Community Builders and a coordinator of the AWS user group in Kenya. Karibu sana Adeline, let's just appreciate her.
Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, Governor Johnson Sakaja, government officials, state, AWS officials, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed, good morning. My name is Adeline Makoha, a software quality engineer at Safaricom with a BSc in Telecommunication and Information Technology from Machakos University. My journey began way back in 2021 when I enrolled at Azubi Africa as a Azubi Africa AWS Restart program during my final year in campus. I was trained as an AWS cloud practitioner. The training was a bit intense, but through dedication and commitment, I succeeded and later proceeded for AWS Solutions Architect course. In one of the classes, I came to learn about AWS Community Builder program and decided to apply. Here is my wow factor. I was the first female AWS community builder in the whole of East Africa. With the skill set obtained at Azubi Africa AWS Restart program, I was able to secure a job at Safaricom. I currently organize AWS User Group Kenya. We organize monthly meetups for students and members to learn and leverage on cloud computing knowledge. It has been a learning curve for me. I'm so excited that AWS is opening an Amazon Development Center here in Nairobi. I'm looking forward for more collaboration and partnership with you. Thank you so much for listening to me.
Thank you so much, Adeline. Your Excellency, in April of this year, together with the ICT Authority, AWS announced plans to upskill 10,000 students every year through AWS Academy. AWS Academy provides higher education institutions and other tertiary institutions with free cloud computing curricula that prepares students to pursue industry-recognized certifications and in-demand jobs in one of the fastest growing industries. We have agreed with the Ministry of ICT leadership, as we mentioned a few minutes ago, to roll this out not just in public universities, but also in TVETs, which I know are particularly close to your heart, Your Excellency. And as we reflect on the development of quality local talent, I now bring up Felix Munyoki, a data analytics cloud support engineer who works right here in the development center, to also briefly share his journey. Karibu sana, Felix.
Your Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, all protocols observed, good morning. Once again, my name is Felix Munyoki. I've been with the AWS family for almost 4 years now. I started my journey back in the vibrant city of Cape Town in South Africa as a cloud support engineer. When I was presented with the opportunity to return home in Kenya, it was a dream come true. Kenya, a prominent digital hub in Africa, harbors exceptional tech talent ready to make a real impact. As a proud member of the data analytics team, my role revolves around collaborating with customers, guiding them through the intricacies of building data solutions on AWS. Whether it's providing architectural insights during the initial AWS setup or troubleshooting and resolving issues, I'm dedicated to ensure a seamless experience. At AWS, we are encouraged to actively engage in projects and innovation initiatives, allowing us to grow alongside our customers. The chance to collaborate with brilliant engineers globally has enriched my understanding and skill. The launch of this new AWS Development Center in Kenya is genuinely exciting. We at AWS are eager to collaborate with these talented individuals. And remember, at AWS, everyone is a builder, so join us in shaping the future. Asanteni.
Today's launch is a milestone moment in AWS's journey in Kenya. This journey has been enabled by support from various avenues, including the Ministry of ICT and the Digital Economy, the Ministry of Investments, Trade and Industry, the ICT Authority, the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, and various other agencies, together with customers and partners in and beyond this room. We cannot obviously forget the phenomenal support received from the US Embassy team, led by our friend and a huge Kenyan champion, Ambassador Meg Whitman. Thank you. In conclusion, Your Excellency, I would like to play a short clip to trigger our memory.
The national ICT policy requires foreign ICT entities that set up in Kenya to have a 30% domestic equity. This position is untenable and has made it impossible for large corporations to invest in Kenya. As a result, we will review this position and remove the requirement of 30% equity to facilitate greater investment in the ICT sector. And additionally, our data protection law is aligned to support robust growth in data storage. I am sure that AWS have something to report. In fact, I was persuaded by a good gentleman from Amazon Web Services that it was impossible for Amazon to cede 30% equity to any entity they didn't have a business relationship with. And as a result, they were holding their investment in our country. I hope Amazon, now that I have kept my part of the bargain, now that I have kept my part of the bargain, I hope you keep yours.
Your Excellency, thank you indeed for keeping your part of the bargain. And as we do our part, we look forward to a growing collaboration with your government that will continue to positively and strongly impact the lives of the Kenyan people. Thank you for listening.
A warm round of applause for him. And Your Excellency, it's exciting to see that bargains are being kept even as we go along. Next, I would like to invite the Director, Amazon Web Services Support, Mr. Satish Hadese, to make some remarks. Welcome. Let's welcome him with a clap, please.
Your Excellency, the President and Commander-in-Chief of the Defense Forces, Dr. William Ruto, and all other protocols observed, ladies and gentlemen, good morning, Jumbo. My name is Satish Hadese. I'm Director of AWS Support based in Dallas, Texas. I've been with AWS for a little more than 7.5 years now. I'm super excited to be at the launch of the AWS Development Center. The last time I was here in Kenya was in 2018 as a tourist, visiting the amazing Masai Mara. It's great to see Kenya go from strength to strength since then. The launch of Kenya AWS Development Center, it is a result of deliberate and meticulous work over the past 2 years in establishing our presence in Kenya, the hub of East Africa. This launch marks the beginning of the opportunity that this center will present to young Kenyan engineers who are interested in starting their career in technology. For these young engineers, both men and women, it is an opportunity to learn, gain work experience, and work side by side with our global engineers. It is the beginning of their career where they can go on to have impact in their communities and hopefully inspire the next generation of engineers. Kenya's demographic dividend places it to be not just the regional talent pool, but also make it competitive globally. This is due to the great education system that Kenya offers. We have witnessed this ourselves as AWS when we hired Kenyan engineers and have done so since 2019. You just heard Felix talk about his journey from Cape Town to Kenya. The work that the engineers will do at this development center will have a global impact. Their work will contribute to the transformation, automation of customers across industries, including in the public sector. We continue to increase our infrastructure footprint in Kenya to ensure we can bring our products and services as close to Kenyan customers as possible. To elaborate on this, please allow me to introduce two of our customers who can come and talk about their journey with us. First, the General Manager of ICT at Kenya Airports Authority. Please come on stage.
Your Excellency, the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, the Cabinet Secretary of Information, Communication and Digital Economy, Mr. Eliud Owalo, the Governor of Nairobi County, Governor Johnson Sakaja, the U.S. Ambassador to Kenya, Ambassador Meg Whitman, the AWS team, and all protocols observed. Good morning. My name is Kasaine Olepetet. I'm the General Manager, ICT with the Kenya Airports Authority. Just 1 second. Technology. Yes. I'm happy to be part of this exciting launch of the AWS Development Center. At the Kenya Airports Authority, we started our automation and digital transformation journey in early 2012. Part of this journey was to embrace cloud services. With internet bandwidth becoming more affordable and faster, cloud services have started becoming an interesting alternative to on-premise computing. We started with moving our corporate website to the AWS platform in late 2022. This proved to be a more stable, secure, and faster service of critical information, especially of flight information and supplier relationship management systems. We currently host our e-procurement system on this platform. We later moved to backing up of our critical data on the AWS S3 platform, that's simple storage services. This allowed us to have a better redundancy for data recovery and cyber recovery. Expansion on this platform is also very seamless. So as we require more storage, we can do this on the fly. We also use this service for air gapping of our data, and it provides better resilience when it comes to cybersecurity actors. So this process was completed in April this year. We are currently moving our messaging and collaboration services to the AWS Elastic Compute Cloud, that EC2. This helps us save on investment in physical infrastructure with its associated costs in terms of insurance, maintenance, obsolescence, and also the initial heavy investment in infrastructure. We plan on looking at other areas of investment within the AWS platform, and I'm happy that AWS will be part of this journey for us. So we'll be looking more at data analytics in terms of analyzing passenger data and making the experience for passengers at the airport that much better. We're also looking at machine learning and AI, because we process a lot of volume in terms of passenger data. So this will ensure that we can have more personalized services for our passengers. And this area will also apply on security, because we know the current environment that we have is pretty challenging. Now, infrastructure modernization will be part of this journey. So we'll be shifting away from traditional investments in physical infrastructure and moving this to the cloud, as this helps in terms of reducing costs and also improving system resilience. As I conclude, I wish to congratulate the AWS team for this remarkable investment and thank Your Excellency, the President, for focusing on the digital transformation of our economy. Asante sana.
Sir, thanks for sharing your exciting story with all of us. Next, please allow me to introduce the Director of Information Technology at Safaricom. Please come on stage to share your journey. Thank you.
Good morning. Your Excellency, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, President of the Republic of Kenya, Governor of Nairobi, Honorable Johnson Sakaja, the U.S. Ambassador, Mwek Whitman, PS Ministry of ICT, Engineer John Tanui, PS Ministry of Investment, Trade and Industry, Abubakar Hassan, AWS Leadership, CEOs, Captains in Industry, all other protocols observed. I think, Mike, I should have remembered to say what you taught me in Mombasa. I'm riding on other protocols. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a great day. I was quite excited when I walked in and to the floor down there, and I actually thought I walked into a Safaricom building. Your Excellency, about 70% of the team there once worked in Safaricom. And even those who did not work, like I can see someone laughing back there, they were associated with Safaricom. And so we're happy that we believe we are a hotbed of talent, not just for local companies, but also for international companies. I think over the years, when this journey started, Robin and I were reminiscing. We were called for a Captains of Industry roundtable at Kempinski in 2019. And Michael Joseph couldn't attend, and he asked me to attend. I didn't quite know what was going on. It was quite rushed. And we started discussing that AWS was interested in coming to Kenya. And they wanted commitment from the industry that we would. I guess being new to my job, I said, let me take this up. Today, we run over 60 applications on AWS, including my Safaricom app, our Zuri chatbot, my county app, and many others. We have over 600 servers running there. We'll soon be launching our new artificial intelligence and machine learning platform running on AWS that was designed in this very building. One of the first customers who came here to collaborate. We've run joint hackathons. And when I see and get sometimes notes from some of our team members who've gone to work in the UK, in Germany, in Ireland, they always say that opportunity they got has made a very big difference for them. For some of them, they had never boarded a plane, let alone gotten a visa to go to foreign countries. We do this like the young lady you saw here, going round to universities, not just training our staff. Although we have over 750 engineers in my team who are certified and accredited in AWS. But now we've extended this partnership to universities. If I was not here today, I would be in Laikipia University with my team. And jointly we work, we run hackathons, we identify top talent. But more so, we look at how to address real Kenyan problems using world-class technology. And so I'm quite excited because, Robin, there were two requests we had. One was to have the development center, and there's another one that we want the local presence here. And Safaricom is more than willing to offer you a premise, but also to assist in connectivity. It's great to see our customers who we connect to Ireland, but we believe that we have come of age, we have proven ourselves, we've invested on our part, and it's time to bring a local presence in Kenya. Ama mnasemaje? So I trust when you make a request, or somewhere where I heard, when the father of the nation or our father is in the building, it's when you place your requests. So thanks for meeting this one. The next one needs to come. At Safaricom, we're a purpose-led technology company, and this new journey of ours, it's about transforming from a telco with a great fintech, indeed, that represents the greatness of Kenya's innovation, transforming to become a technology company. AWS is one of the partners we identified that will help us in that journey. When we see the leaps and bounds we've made on new technologies like microservices and container, serverless, that we run our big data, we could not have done it with such great partners. Taking Kenya to the next level will require partners to put their investment, not just look for us to invest on their platforms, but put their investment in Kenya, in training young people, in building facilities, in ensuring that all the way to the grassroots, people may not have certain basics, but with technology, it creates a platform for them to have basics. Last but not least, I know we are limited on time. A statement I've often made is we are not looking for handouts. As you've seen from the young people here, we are looking for opportunities. The moment we can get the opportunities, we will create and map our own destiny. Safaricom is about transforming lives, and sometimes people think it's just in our CSR activities, but it's these young people who get an opportunity not just to work for a great local company, but get an opportunity to work for the greatest, largest technology companies in the world. They not only transform their lives, they transform their families and communities. So asanteni sana, we're ready to do more. God bless.
Thank you, sir, for being a part of the ecosystem, being a talent hub for not just for AWS, but for all of Kenya. Thank you. Your Excellency, please allow me to reiterate once again AWS's commitment to Kenya. We all know how passionate you are in leveraging technology to drive change in Kenya. It takes me back to the ancient saying in Sanskrit language, Yad bhavam tad bhavati, which basically means when you passionately pursue something, it will always manifest. I can't wait for my next visit to Kenya to see how it continues to grow from strength to strength. Thank you.
Next, Your Excellency, allow me to now invite Her Excellency, the Ambassador US to Kenya, Her Excellency Meg Whitman. Tumpigie makofi tafadhali.
Well, good morning, Mr. President. All protocols observed. I am so delighted to be here this morning. This has been a long time coming. Well, a long time in technology time. And it is a really important event for Silicon Savannah. Silicon Savannah, Silicon Valley, all the tech hubs of the world, they are not places, they are state of mind. They are those connections that are made every day over coffee, in the park, the minds coming together to innovate. And I think AWS and Amazon is a crucial part of Silicon Savannah's growth and development. For those of you who don't know, I grew up with Amazon. I remember when I became the CEO of eBay, we looked up one day and said, if we could ever be like Amazon, that would be amazing. And I want to tell you, Amazon is one of the most important technology companies in Silicon Valley. It's one of the most important technology companies in the world. And the fact that they have chosen to put the development center for AWS in Nairobi speaks volumes about Kenya, speaks volumes about Nairobi, and speaks volumes about this administration. So congratulations to all of you. I want to tell you a little bit about innovation. There is two kinds of innovation in the world. There's what I call evolutionary innovation, which is people who every day make what already exists a little bit better, new and improved, a little bit better food, a little bit better consumer goods, a little bit better maps, a little bit better on everything that you do. Those people are very, very important because unless we keep getting better at the basics, we fall behind. But there is a very small number of people and companies who do what I call disruptive innovation. That's different than evolutionary innovation. Disruptive innovation are the people who build things that never existed before. Think about the airplane, the train, the car, the early development of the IBM 3600 that began to power the technology age. If you think about the PC, you think about all these big changes in technology, often there is a small people who figure out how to do something that has never been done before. Amazon is one of the few companies that have figured out two things that were completely disruptive innovation. One was e-commerce. Amazon was the pioneer of e-commerce on the internet. And then the second thing that Amazon did was AWS. Before AWS, you had to build your own data center. You had to set up your own data center. You had to buy your own servers and storage and networking. Today, you just tap into AWS and other cloud service providers, and you're up and running. Let me tell you the difference this would have made at eBay. I joined eBay in 1998. We had to build our own data center. We had to figure out how to do that. And by the way, that took 9 months to do. And by the way, we had some challenges doing it along the way. I remember going into the data center one day, and there were fans cooling the servers. Oops, big problem. In any case, today, if I was starting eBay, we would have tapped into AWS and we'd be up and running in 2 days. 9 months to 2 days. And that is what is so important here, is that AWS is an enabler of big companies, as you heard this morning. But more importantly, in many ways, they are an enabler of small tech companies, because you no longer have to have a lot of capital to start your own company. You have, in fact, don't really need any capital at all. You can just tap into a cloud service provider and you are up and running, ready to go. So I'm super excited about AWS being here. I think it will create a revolution among the small to medium-sized enterprises, which are those that always power the Silicon Valley or the Silicon Savannah. So congratulations. I am so pleased that you are here. Thank you to the President for continuing to create an enabling environment that allows companies like Amazon to come here. And we can't leave without saying, celebrate the engineers and the innovators. Thank you very much.
Allow me to now call Governor for Nairobi County, His Excellency Johnson Sakaja. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Mike. Allow me to also associate myself with the protocol already established. Your Excellency, the President, and everybody here today. It's an amazing day. I'm really excited as your governor to welcome AWS to Nairobi. We're grateful that you have decided to open this center in our beautiful city, the heart of the Silicon Savannah. Amazon needs no introduction. It is not only the largest technology company in the world, but it's also a household name. I believe this new development center, which is the second in Africa, will play a major role in growing Kenya's digital sector and more so the city of Nairobi. During the last decade, cloud computing was more about storage and hosted software as a service. Today, we're in the evolution of cloud computing. Our startups and businesses, just as Ambassador Meg has said, need flexible solutions, not just for data storage, but also for computing needs. The AWS Compute provides businesses the opportunity to pay only for the resources that they require, and that's a real big plus for us. The availability of on-demand services beyond storage means that businesses can scale the technology used without incurring unnecessary overheads. The provision of these capabilities is a democratization of cloud technology, where this development center not only becomes relevant for big organizations, but also for small businesses, for whom digitization is becoming critical for their operations. According to the World Economic Forum, Your Excellency, 97 million new jobs will be created by 2025 because of cloud computing and digitization. In Nairobi, our cash crop, unlike Nyandarua, where the cash crop is Waru, where my deputy comes from, in Nairobi, my DG is here, Njoroge Mushiri. In Nairobi, our cash crop is our young people who are resilient, they're ready to learn new skills, they're amazing, and they have all that with them, and any investment towards them, for us is where our priority is. PS Tony will tell you, a few years ago, he invited us to take young people to Konza. And I remember a young boy, 6-year-old from Dandora, who had just interacted with the computer for the first time, defeated everybody in coding just after 3 days of being taught. That talent is there. What lies under the ground, above the ground in Nairobi really is our talent. We don't have oil, we don't have gold, we don't have diamonds. Our greatest asset is not below the ground, it is above the ground, and it is our people. The fact, thank you. So this development center, I pray, and I'm really happy. Your Excellency, I just walked across an office around here. This development center will be important in absorbing these highly skilled young people we have and bring part of these millions of jobs to our doorsteps. The fact that AWS will use this system to support major organizations such as Toyota, Netflix, Volkswagen, and the rest, together with handling some of its research and development for new products, cements Nairobi's place as Africa's Silicon Savannah. Your Excellency, you've raised the brand of Kenya. You've raised, the attention on Nairobi. I was with you in New York, and I saw the attention of the world. Thank you for being our Chief Marketing Officer as Nairobi and as Kenya. And really, we must thank Ambassador Meg. I have never seen an envoy who believes in her station the way you do. You've gone out there, you've sold this place. We will do our part. Downstairs, I asked Amazon Web Services, what can I do as your governor to make Nairobi more comfortable for you? They said they're already comfortable. But I'll try and do a bit more. AWS is not new to me, Your Excellency. In March this year, Nairobi City County signed a partnership with AWS. My chief officer for Smart Nairobi is here, Tyrus, and he's been leading that together with AWS. Tyrus Njoroge, thank you. It's a beneficial partnership that we have seen, that's seen the county receive 6 months worth of AWS cloud credits. We have leveraged on this platform for various projects, including we host our liquor licensing system on this platform currently, and we intend to do much more. Through AWS, we've also co-created a citizen engagement and disaster reporting application, Semana 047.nairobi.go.ke, which we will launch very soon this month because it is going to, we leverage on this platform as part of our El Nino preparedness, so people can report incidences and can get responses immediately from the county. Our efforts towards creating a city of order, dignity, hope and opportunity for all will be realized by largely through exploiting data for decision making. As Nairobi City County moves towards reinventing its operations with data in the quest to create a comprehensive and inclusive smart city, we invite AWS to work with us to realize this. Your Excellency, I'm not wearing 2 watches because I'm flashy. I'm flashy, but not because of wearing 2 watches. This watch here is our Tap to Eat school feeding application. All our children in Nairobi are wearing this watch. We're using technology. We know how many children are eating every day, the quantity of food they're taking, the content, and we can tell that they've paid through technology, and we want to use more of this technology in partnership with AWS. We believe that our partnership will help us achieve these ambitions. We don't take it for granted that you chose Nairobi. You could have chosen any other part of the continent. Thank you for being in Nairobi. We look forward to many more years of partnership with you, AWS, in supporting the county, local businesses, and creating job opportunities. Your Excellency, as I go to conclude, a few years ago when I was a senator for Nairobi, I had visited Silicon Savannah, Palo Alto, and I was giving a speech at the Institute for the Future. And somebody there asked me, how is it that we're seeing so much innovation coming out of Kenya and out of Nairobi? And I told them, the world today is a small global village. Our young people in Nairobi are not competing with people in Machakos. The technology, the tools that are available are the same. So while they might be innovating there for luxury and for shopping, we're innovating to connect families to water. We're innovating to, cash transfer. We're innovating to really, because necessity is the mother of invention. And that is why Kenya can now compete at a global scale. as we think about our education, and I'm glad you've spoken about the TVETs, etc., let us remember, those young people in Kisumu are not being trained to compete with young people in Nairobi, but with young people in Japan, with young people in Germany. We must give them those tools in their hands. And so in the Senate, I sat down, I looked for Twiga, I looked for Celilant, I looked for Sendi, I looked for these startups that were scaling. Twiga was, I think would have been our first unicorn in Kenya. And I asked them, what is it that government could do for you differently years before for you to get to where you are? And we came up with a startup bill. Your Excellency, the startup bill that time, provided for de-risking of some of these investments. The national government or the county cannot invest in these companies, but we need to de-risk the venture capitalists. Kaufman Fellows were here just a few weeks ago and they met you, and many other such fellowships of venture capitalists. Unfortunately, the bill didn't go through because of time, but I'm very happy that through your CS Chelugoi, we've sat down again, we've rejigged that bill. It's unfortunate that when we did the bill, part of those in my team were from Nigeria. They took the bill in Nigeria, they passed it. So Nigeria has a startup act drafted by the governor of Nairobi. And Nairobi does not have a startup legislation because we can really, really incentivize rapidly scalable companies, create a virtual special economic zone. Your Excellency, not all of these people need to come to one place, but you can have a virtual SEZ wherever they are, in their bedrooms, in their houses, and give them those incentives to grow. They will be able to create employment. Of course, we continue to support e-commerce. Your Excellency, you have supported us. We now have our physical addressing and street naming system in Nairobi for e-commerce, for deliveries to be done properly. Finally, I love Amazon. One of the books that I've given every of my executives is a book called Working Backwards. It was written by Colin Breyer and Bill Carr. It talks about the leadership principles and mechanisms that made Amazon scale. Your Excellency, I'll give you a copy. If you look at, not because you need it, you're doing really well, but it's interesting to see how that the company grew, from a small operation to the biggest one of the biggest companies in the world by just 14 leadership principles and their mechanisms, the cadences, the kind of meetings they have. And their first principle is 100% obsession with the customer. That is what we're doing in Nairobi. We're saying we must have 100% obsession with the customer, who is the person, the people of Nairobi, the Mwananchi. I'm sure it's a book you'll enjoy because I know you really like reading and you read very quickly. So I'll bring it to you this evening because I also need to see you again. Your Excellency, with those many remarks, Karibuni Nairobi, Amazon. We have a beautiful space. I love how you've done the office. The furniture is local. You're setting a great example for us, just really leveraging on what Kenya has to provide. Anything you ever require, I am right across the door. I'm available for you. Thank you, Excellency. Your Excellency, allow me to invite PS, our ICT, who will also recognize the other officers from the national government. Anybody from the county government, please stand up. We have not recognized you. We have the Deputy Governor, Njoroge Mushiri. Your Excellency, Njoroge Mushiri was a Chief Technology Officer, Operating Officer at ABSA. So he's leading us in technology, and ako top kabisa. We have Tyrus Njoroge, ICT, Chief Officer for Smart Nairobi. We have a department called Smart Nairobi. We want this to be a smart city. We have Director in the Office of the Deputy Governor, and Priscilla Mahinda, Chief Officer, Office of the Governor. Thank you very much. Karibu PS.
Thank you. Your Excellency, President William Samoei Ruto, the Governor of Nairobi, Governor Sakaja, Ambassador Whitman, my colleague PS Abubakar, and CEO's President, the Amazon team led by Robin. Good afternoon. Your Excellency, this is a very special moment for us. First, for me as an engineer, Amazon Web Services opening a development center extends the opportunities for engineering students, for engineering professionals in this country. You've had some of the engineers working here are those who have served in Safaricom. That means it's opening the next level of opportunities for our technical people from our universities. Your Excellency, we really want to thank you for the focus and attention you have given this sector. It's the digital economy that will open more opportunities for our country. It's the opportunity that will enable us increase our GDP. Globally, digital economy is increasing the growth of GDP because digital economy is growing by 2.5% in terms of growth. Your Excellency, also Amazon opening office here is also opening an interesting opportunity, because cloud computing is one of the areas where quality jobs are available for our young people in this country, and we are able to serve globally from here in our country. Your Excellency, you made a commitment to them, and you enabled us to remove the condition which required them to have 30% local shareholding, and they have kept one part of their bargain. There is still one more part which they need to do, which is to have a presence here in the country. They have committed us, they are working on it, and hopefully we will see some of their cloud infrastructure taking advantage more of our digital, our tech talent, young people here, and also our renewable energy resources here in the country. That's an open opportunity. Your Excellency, we're impressed to hear today they already have a good number of young engineers already working here, and they have also open opportunities to add more. They've assured us in the next few years we'll have thousands of young engineers working here at Nairobi, but serving the global market. Your Excellency, we are very excited to see the growth of this sector. And on the behalf of our CS, Eliud Awalo, who is on another assignment you sent, we are very excited to support the entire digital and technology community from global who are resident here in Kenya, and equally we are able to support our tech talent, our engineers, and also the young tech companies that are rising here in Kenya in the Silicon Savannah, and we'll be congregating, Your Excellency, to see how also they can take opportunities of platforms like what Amazon Web Services are providing, and also how they can grow, and to see in the future companies who call Kenya home and also being celebrated globally. It's now my pleasure to invite His Excellency the President to give his remarks. Welcome, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much, PS. Thank you. Please, let's take our seats. Asante sana. Our friend Ambassador Whitman, fellow leaders, engineers, good morning. I think the presentation that was made here just concluded the meeting. That when I committed to Njiru and the AWS friends in Kenya, that we would do our part as government to make it possible for companies that want to set up in Kenya not to be disadvantaged by policy, and that we are going to align policy with the requirements of industry. It was very clear to me then that as we do our part as government, we would expect partners like AWS to do theirs. I'm very happy that AWS have kept their part of the bargain. And that's why this launch of the Amazon Web Services Development Center is a very important event for several reasons. First, Amazon has chosen Kenya as the base from which to extend its global and African footprint, which affirms our country as an attractive global investment destination, recognizes our progress in consolidating Kenya's global and continental leadership in the field of information and communication technology, and endorses our national digital transformation agenda. The second is that Amazon clearly recognizes the opportunities that abound at the intersection of our bottom-up economic transformation agenda and its fundamental enabler, technology in general, and digital information and communication technology in particular. Thirdly, this event makes it clear that Amazon has a strong interest in bringing opportunities of job creation and skills development in highly productive and competitive emerging fields within the reach of many Kenyans, and in fact, right here in Kenya. Listening to Felix, who was working out in South Africa, finding an opportunity to do this at home was very heartwarming. And congratulations, AWS, for making it possible for Felix to explore his calling and his talents right at home here in Kenya. Listening to Miss Makoha from Safaricom gives me the impression and the inspiration that indeed we have a great opportunity ahead of us working with companies like Amazon. Kenya has emerged as one of the most exciting frontiers of global tech competitiveness, with high revolutionary potential across all sectors. It makes tremendous sense for a leading player in the global technology space to secure its presence in this market by significantly enhancing its visibility and presence. At the same time, I must recognize as a starting point that this move by Amazon will make Kenya the second African hub from which its teams will be developing solutions for partners throughout the world, and from where it will support all its customers spread across the globe. The center will therefore necessarily entail the creation of numerous new, highly skilled jobs in various critical areas, including software development, cloud support, telecommunication, and software engineering. Africa is rapidly emerging as a tremendous single market of over 1.4 billion people and the next frontier of global industrial revolution. With a median age of 19 and with their education, skills, and enterprising spirit, young Africans are prepared to power unprecedented global growth, which, with the right investment like Amazon's, will take advantage of our continent's natural resource wealth and green energy potential to lead the world in greening opportunities, growth, and prosperity, and thus guarantee a sustainable future for both us and humanity. It is therefore a good idea to be here in Africa as this new era of global transformation unfolds. Even better, it is exciting to be in Kenya, the geostrategic gateway to East Africa, the Horn of Africa, Great Lakes and Central Africa region, as well as the continent of Africa. And this is because it will optimize your footprint and make it possible for you to tap into the great talent that I was very happy that Satish speaks very candidly about, the Kenyan talent that I have always explained to the people of our great nation, that our human capital is the greatest resource that we have as a country. It is the reason why we continue to spend on our education to sharpen our human capital. This year, we are spending the largest budget ever in the history of Kenya on education. Close to $5 billion we're investing in education. Just to make sure that we get the base right. Our primary students will benefit from an extra 56,000 teachers that we've hired so that we get the base right. We've also changed our model of delivery of funding for both our TVETs and our universities so that we can target specific students, make sure that we give affirmative action for courses that will give us the best human capital that can serve our country and serve the global market. And that is the finesse of the Kenyan human capital. And it is the very reason that we continue as an administration to focus very keenly on delivering quality education and making it possible for every student from every background to get an equal chance at being their best by making sure that we make the whole education infrastructure democratic and make it possible for many of our students to get quality education. It is the reason why we have doubled our budget both for TVET education and for university education. And we will continue, I want to commit that we will continue to invest in our human capital so that companies like Amazon can continue to get the best. Kenya is also gateway to 6 global fiber optic lines and has taken off as a vibrant pioneering epicenter of African research and development, technology and innovation, and as we say very ably, the Silicon Savannah. Earlier this year, during the American Chamber of Commerce event in Nairobi that was being referred to by Mr. Njiru there, I made a strong win-win case for American firms to choose Kenya in their own best strategic and business interests and in the interest of our bottom-up economic transformation agenda, citing the policy and institutional arrangements that we have laid down to make it possible, easy, and advantageous to choose Kenya. I reiterated this message a few days ago when I joined the Kenya Investment Roadshow in Silicon Valley in San Francisco. I also held discussions with AWS's executives in New York at the Kenya mission to the United Nations, where we agreed on sustaining the development of a conducive business environment for them to expand their investment in Kenya. I hope we make another deal again today. And I will keep my path. And as was said by my good friend from Safaricom, your presence now as a company in Nairobi is the next step. Tell me what you want me to do, and I promise you I will. So that I affirm my commitment to follow through with the undertakings I gave and to go further and take measures necessary to ensure that the policy framework on which the digital technology ecosystem stands is a tide that lifts all boats, local as well as international. In our engagement, the urgent imperative to create employment and training opportunities in Kenya through this investment emerged as the foremost shared priority in line with the digital superhighway and creative economy pillar of our plan. Accordingly, the potential is immense. Amazon Web Services is not just about mere presence in the regional market. It is intentional about elevating its corporate citizenship credentials through its support for robust framework to anchor optimal interactions between government, clients, startups, and other partners. For example, through its infrastructures, first, AWS, Edge Location, and then AWS Local Zones, and later AWS Outposts, Amazon has ensured that users, both in metropolitan areas as well as those further afield, experience connectivity with maximum efficiency and minimum delay. And I must congratulate Amazon for this achievement. This commitment to the infrastructures of connectivity has proved critical, not only because Amazon is undertaking transformational interventions in the fields of health, education, and training, as well as digital jobs and self-employment opportunities, but it is also committed to do so in a very inclusive manner that leaves no one behind. By collaborating with various government ministries, AWS has been able to deliver unique and game-changing solutions in various sectors. Let me give you an example. With the ministries of ICT and health, it developed and hosted a cloud-based data application, the Center for Epidemiology Modeling and Analysis, which used data to contain the spread of COVID-19 in Kenya. Together with universities and technical vocational education training institutions, AWS has been able to implement free, ready-to-teach cloud computing curriculums to enable students prepare for
required AWS certification and jobs that are in demand throughout the industry. And I encourage you to work, as I told Njiru earlier, that because we have, by your own admission, some of the best human capital anywhere in the world, the best way we can make this human capital available, both to the tech community, locally and globally, is to work with us in the training, to refine our human talent, in making sure that we get certification. And we will do our part as government to make sure that we channel more STEM students into our TVETs and into our universities so that we can leverage on the training that you provide in the training and the partnership that you have with our universities to get many more engineers. I am very proud that the first 50 engineers will be hired by AWS in Kenya, and we are looking at the days when we will have 1,000, 2,000, 5,000 engineers here in Kenya. Similarly, Njiru told me earlier, the AWS Restart, a 12-week program to prepare unemployed or underemployed people for careers in cloud computing, has partnered with Ajira, e-Mobilis, and Get Innotised to empower hundreds of young people across Kenya, including those living in the refugee camps, I was told, both in Dadaab and in Kakuma. So congratulations again for looking out for people who ordinarily are excluded, especially the children who are in our refugee camps. In the fields of health, I must recognize the unique and transformational pathway made possible by AWS. An Amazon client has piloted its health application locally by leveraging AWS cloud credits in order to provide text-based follow-up support for cancer patients by connecting oncologists at the Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Teaching and Referral Hospital in Kisumu in a partnership with the county government of Kisumu that now serves over 5,000 patients. This would not have been possible. Just the sheer level of infrastructure required to deliver this would not have been possible without cloud computing and without Amazon. So again, you are making us proud. And this partnership is not just exemplary, it is transformative. And we want to work together on more. Throughout Kenya, every sector, community, and all levels of government, the transformative potential of digital technology has been experienced by ordinary people, thanks to the possibilities unlocked through AWS in developing solutions and bringing opportunities closer. This is the promise we wish to nurture here and share throughout the continent, because research, development, and innovation, as well as a digital technology, hold the key to the future of African socio-economic transformation and job creation initiatives. The most salient feature of true digital transformation is that it is inclusive and creates inclusivity. We are committed to ensuring that no one, not a single person, is left behind in our march towards Kenya's digital future. Our decision to digitize all government services is informed by the need to make them easily accessible at minimum or no cost to all Kenyans who have a cell phone. This is also why we are also rolling out 100,000 kilometers of last-mile fiber optic connectivity, establishing digital hubs in every ward, and providing free Wi-Fi at every center throughout Kenya. And we are looking at 25,000 centers around the country to provide free Wi-Fi. It is also why we are promoting the local assembly of smartphone, which with collaboration and strategic partnerships powered by transformative facilities like AWS's Development Center, will be powered by locally developed, responsive, efficient, and effective applications and other software.
The case for a green industrial revolution powered by African potential is much stronger today because of the promise of digital transformation and the opportunities that come with it. As the gateway to the continent and the home of Silicon Savannah, Kenya stands in a position of digital leadership, firmly anchored on the infrastructure provided for such visionary companies, including Amazon. Today, with the launch of the Development Center, we take yet another major step into a future that is rapidly and positively transforming every day. It is time to be part of that transformation. And I'm very proud of the engineers that I met earlier and that are in this room. You guys are great. And you are an inspiration to many more Kenyans out there, many more young Kenyans in college, in our TVETs, and in our schools who are looking forward to what technology can do, what the digital space can offer. It is the reason why we are banking heavily on the footprint of technology across the country, the digital hubs that we want in every ward, so that we can, just like you, as you develop solutions, we can use those solutions to create jobs for many more young people to work. And we are focusing on the digital infrastructure that we are rolling out in our shopping centers, in our ICT infrastructure that we are putting in our wards, to make sure that young people across Kenya have access to infrastructure that will give them digital jobs, so that we can continue to deploy the best human capital, the best human labor to serve not just our country, not just our continent, but the globe at large. Ladies and gentlemen, the Amazon Web Services Development Center, I declare, is now officially open. Thank you very much. And congratulations, Amazon. Pongezi. Thank you very much. Asante.
And that is the book that the governor promised, in the spirit of making sure every promise is kept.
Thank you very much, Governor Sakaja, for giving me this book, Working Backwards, Looking Forwards. And just to, maybe I will say to what Governor Sakaja asked, what he can do better. Maybe I could help by saying that these great people could benefit a lot from our affordable housing program, to make sure that each and every one of them can have a residence that they own. And our plan is to have at least 150,000 new housing units in the city of Nairobi, so that we can better house the citizens of this great city. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. And before we conclude, I seek your indulgence. I request a photograph with the leadership of AWS. And at this point, I would like to call Satish to maybe just come